Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of just reading one chapter, I'm going to read chapter 15 through 20. So we're starting with Naruto Changes, chapter 15, Battle on the Bridge, part 1. Ichi had the team stay on the bridge for the next few days, when finally it was attacked. Tsubasa charged Ichi, making sure to look away from his eyes to avoid jinjutsu. Haku attacked Sasuke, and Naruto told Kara to defend Tanzu at all costs while he fought Dragon. She nodded, eyes orange with the Kyuubi's chakra. Naruto and Dragon exchanged a few punches, filling each other out. When Dragon's right arm turned black with a metal sheen, he backhanded Naruto across the chest, sending him backwards a dozen feet. "Kid, I'd honestly rather not kill you. So please, back off," he said, as a black steel began to creep up his neck. Naruto shook his head. "You think you scare me? With that love trap? Please." Dragon's eyes turned red, glowing orange cracks appeared over the metal, and the heat burned his shirt away, but left his pants intact. Must be heat resistant. Then his fist turned into lava. "Last chance, kid." Naruto grinned and did 3 hand signs. "Wind-style multi-L bullet." Then he split 4 beams of pressurized air that could easily puncture any normal metal, but did nothing to the black steel of Dragon's body it was made of. Then Dragon charged too fast for Naruto to react. To Naruto, everything slowed down dramatically. Dragon was 4 feet away from him with his lava fist pulled back. The heat burned against Naruto's skin. His mouth was dry. He felt fear. He knew this was the end. Then everything went black. Dragon stepped back from his attack. The entire middle of the bridge was now a sinking pit of lava. Nothing could have survived his ultimate attack. "I wish I didn't have to kill you, kid," he muttered sadly. "Don't think I'm done yet." Dragon looked down. There was a large black spear rising from the lava. What the hell? Then it landed away from the lava and shrunk into 3 much smaller spears around the unharmed Naruto. "It appears you have a powerful bloodline," Dragon acknowledged. Naruto grinned as one spear became a short staff, like a blunt sword. "You know, instead of killing the bridge builder, Gato could have just gotten you to destroy it once it was done, shattering the morale." "That's just cruel, but Gato isn't very intelligent. He'd never have thought of that," Dragon replied, secretly happy that Naruto wasn't dead. Naruto glanced to his left and saw that Sasuke was trapped in a weird dome made of floating spears of ice. "Kaze no Yare." Naruto spun and hurled a wind spear at the ice dome, cutting a perfect hole as big and round as a dome in 2 mirrors, and cutting Haku's leg. "Your fight is with me," Dragon. Chapter 16, Battle on the Bridge, Part 2. Sasuke was trapped and Haku was moving much too fast to land a hit. Needles were everywhere and Sasuke had dodged most of them, but a couple were sticking from his back. Sasuke saw Sharingan, just barely able to track the movement. Then Haku dashed towards Sasuke from behind, hoping to knock him unconscious. However, a piercing noise was heard and Haku yelled out and grabbed his side. A deep gash from what looked like a wind jutsu. Haku cursed. "Your friend hit me! It must have been a lucky shot. Now I have to beat you quickly." Haku charged again, but he was barely over half his earlier speed, so Sasuke was able to keep up and fight back. Ichi smirked at Tsubasa. "You know, you should just take your apprentice and leave. I have no qualms about killing you, but I'd rather my team get some experience before getting their first kills." Tsubasa glared at Ichi. Ichi was making a fool out of him without even trying to use genjutsu. Tsubasa had cuts on his chest and bruises over his eyes, while Ichi hit him with that powerful elbow. Ichi used Chia with an S-class. Tsubasa was an A-class. It really shouldn't be surprising that Ichi could beat him. "Tsubasa, this is your last chance," Ichi said, eyes going cold. Tsubasa ripped his mask off and spit out some blood. "Take your best shot, Uchiha." Ichi's Sharingan changed to a jinchuriki, and he spoke. So be it. Naruto was amazed by the orbs around him. It hit Draga in the head, and the black steel fell off like leaves from a dying tree. Now Draga lay at his feet, and Naruto smiled. He knocked out a very powerful opponent, but was running around 10% of his normal chakra reserves. He fell to his knees, panting heavily and sweating. Then he passed out beside the larger man. Haku, we don't have to fight. We could. He was interrupted by Haku throwing needles at him, forcing him to use his chakra to deflect them. Sasuke then felt his brother's chakra become heavy in the air. Damn it, he's using it. Haku removed her mask. Using what? Ichi's ace in the hole. His Mangekyo Shuriken. It gives him access to powers that obliterate any ninja. If you don't stop this, your master will die. Is that what you want? Sasuke yelled at him. The mirrors turned to water, and Haku stood before Sasuke, gripping her side. Fine. If you try to hurt Tsubasa-sama, I'll kill you. Ichi could beat us all at the same time with his jinchuriki, Sasuke said grimly. Ichi's left eye was beginning to bleed, and he whispered, Amarastu. Lucky for Zuba, a wall of ice appeared in front of him and delayed the black fire so they could move. Ichi went to do it again, but Sasuke yelled, Stop, Ichi! Foolish little brother. Then he closed his bleeding eye and forced the other one on Zubai. Haku is too weak to continue fighting, and Naruto beat Dragon. Zubai looks like he could pass out in any minute. This fight is over. You don't have to kill them, Sasuke told him. If I don't, he will just come back, Ichi said gravely. Looks like Zubai is just a baby demon after all, said a fat man with glasses and a business suit. Ichi opened both eyes to glare at the newcomer and his arm of bandits. Friends of yours, Zubai. Zubai grinned. He's the one who hired me. Ichi nodded. Sasuke, I will spare Zubai and his acquaintances, but I will kill Gato. He opened his eyes a bit wider, his shuriken spinning in a crazy speed, and all his mercenaries. Then the entire area erupted into black fire. Not one bandit was spared. What power? Zubai breathed, glad he didn't get hit. Then Ichi commanded the flames to be out. All that remained was those men that was burned to the ground. Ichi clamped a hand over his eyes and his shuriken disactivated. Ichi, you can't keep using that power. It hurts you. Wait till I get mine so we can switch, Sasuke said to him. Go get Naruto, Kara, and Tanzu. I'll watch them. Ichi glared at Zubai, who was sitting down and leaning against Haku. Chapter 17. Deal. Zubai, I want to offer the three of you sanctuary in our village, Kara told the man before her. And how would you have any pull in a village? He asked, his voice rough and curious. She smiled. Because my dad's the Hokage. Zubai looked relieved. Now, I'm really glad we didn't kill you. Having the yellow flash after us would be a definite death sentence. So, what do you say? She asked again. He thought for a moment before shrugging. Sounds fine to me. I hear he's a nice guy when he's not slaughtering people. Great! She grinned in a way that made her look like Naruto. Whatever. All I know is there's a lake down there and I planned on swimming. Naruto walked past them, stripping down to his boxers. Sasuke and Ichi doing the same. Good idea, Naruto, Ichi said as he rid himself of his shirt. Kara got a devilish smirk on her face. I think I know how to appeal, Sasuke-kun. She ran inside and borrowed a bikini from Hazume. Luckily, she had an orange one and changed quickly. When she got back downstairs to the water, she saw Sasuke laying on the sand with his legs in the water, while Ichi, Dragon, Zubini, and Naruto were wrestling and dunking each other. Tanzuna's daughter, sat beside Sasuke, with only her bra and panties on, substituting for a bikini. He didn't even glance at either of them when Kakari got close, and even then he only smirked and chuckled out, "Should have known you'd find something orange." Karia blushed and looked disappointed, then angry. She stood up and grabbed the back of his hair and squished his face between her breasts. "How about now, Sasuke? Like orange now? I bet you just love oranges now." Then she pushed him back on his butt, jumped out into the water. Sasuke sat there on the ground, face red, with a hard-on. Chapter 18. Anger. Minato glared at Tsubaya, Hakura, and Dragon. "Let me get this straight. You attacked Konoha's team with my daughter on it, no less, and you have the gall to ask for citizenship." Kara noticed sadly for the first time that her dad mentioned her but not Naruto. Ichi placed a hand on her shoulder to keep her quiet. Minato sighed. "The only reason I'm saying yes is because you're capable shinobi and the bloodlines you have. The one of the 7 ninja blades of the mist. You will be under restrictions and receive my seal. All it does is allow me to teleport to you in a blink of an eye. Meaning, if you turn traitor, I will cut you down, and it will be impossible to run away." Zubai nodded grimly, knowing that even without the seal, that Minato no Uzumaki was the fiercest shinobi on the planet. Dragon laughed inwardly. Unless the fourth had powers like his son, he couldn't do much other than tag him. Haruka didn't care. He liked it here. Ichi stepped forward. "As you can see, the 3 of us are very tired. If it's not too much, we'd like a week off to rest. I hear Jiraiya wants to teach Kara the sage arts. I want permission to take Naruto to learn to use what I believe is a new bloodline." Minato looked curious. "A new bloodline? You sure it's not Karashi-chan's chains?" "Positive. So far, there are 3 small orbs that float around him at all times, unless he hides them, like he is now. He can change the shape at will, and they come to him in aid. If he is about to be hit, he can dodge it. They are extremely durable, able to withstand a large amount of force and heat. They can repel chakra," Ichi told him calmly. "Naruto, show me these orbs," Minato commanded. Naruto held up his hand, showing 3 black rings on his right hand, all fingers except his pinky. They then floated off and changed to their regular form and began floating around the room. "Naruto, can you give one to me?" Minato asked. "If you want your chakra control to be shot in half for about half an hour, just for touching one." Naruto chuckled darkly. "Is that a threat?" Minato asked coldly. "Not at all, Hokage-sama." Naruto's reply actually sent a slight shiver down Minato's spine, and he realized that Naruto wasn't calling him Dad anymore. He knew why. He ignored the boy at every turn in favor of his sisters, but for the fate of the world, he would bail his son's anger, if only he knew. "Naruto, would you like to learn Rasengan? I can give you the steps," Minato offered, hoping his son wouldn't be quite so angry. "I'll pass. I've got this far without you. I don't need help from you," Naruto replied, a bit harsh, but he would never admit that. "Naruto, come on. It's an A-rank jutsu. You don't see many of those out here," Minato tried again. "I've got 3 A-rank techniques that Ichi-sensei gave me without me ever asking. I asked you 100 times to help me, or even to just spend time with me, so no, I don't want your shitty jutsu." Naruto's normally calm demeanor cracked, and he widened his eyes and took a deep breath. "I apologize for my outburst. I will accept whatever punishment you deem necessary." Minato felt his words cut deeper than any kunai. "Everyone is dismissed. Naruto, I'd like for you to stay a moment." He sighed. "Is that an order of my Kage?" Minato answered, "If it is necessary to be." "Fine," Naruto answered, locking his fingers behind him, his orbs moving in a wider and more erratic pace. Minato stood up when they left, leaning against the desk in front of Naruto. "Was I so bad of a father that you truly hate me?" Naruto remained silent, but his glare spoke for him. "I want to try Naruto punched his father in the gut, doubling him over. Don't. I don't want you anymore. I'm not the same kid who begged for your attention. You might feel guilty now, but that doesn't change all the years you were literally acted as if I wasn't there. You and Kashika must have hated me since birth. Never had a birthday party like Karu or Nomi. And you two never tucked me in. Never told me everything was alright. Never spoke to me unless I got in trouble. Never told me I did a good job or gave me a freaking compliment. I don't know why you two hate me, but you can both take your excuses elsewhere. I don't want them. Ichi is more of a father to me than you've ever been. Then again, anyone who's ever cared about me has been more of a father to me than you. Naruto had tears running down his eyes. He stepped back, realizing what he'd just done, and ran as fast as he could. He ran out of the tower. Minato thought about going to his son, but he knew it wouldn't change anything. Anbu, why didn't you stop his punch? He said sadly. The Anbu pulled back his mask, revealing none other than Kakashi. Because if even half of that was true, then you deserve it. Naruto was running at full speed, tears running down his cheeks, but the wind he was gathering would blow them away. Then he bumped into someone and sent him tumbling. When they stopped rolling, Naruto saw it was Hinata that he'd run into, and she was currently on top of him. Chapter 19. Naruto stopped and helped Tanada up. Hey, sorry I bumped into you, Hinata. She blushed, a tear off Naruto's cheek. Why are you crying, Naruto-kun? He took her hands into his own. A lot of things, but I feel better now, talking to you. Can we go somewhere? I just want to get out of here for a while. Let's go. She pulled him backwards, not aware of what direction it was, and not caring in the slightest. They made their way to the training grounds eventually. The teen sat on the ground, and the orbs floated around Naruto, giving off a faint greenish-blue light. Naruto leaned against the training pole, with Hinata right beside him. Hinata, I don't know what to feel right now. She nodded. Well, will you tell me what happened? She asked. Naruto sighed and told her everything. Everything from being neglected all the way to punching his father. You see, Hinata, I'm damaged. You don't need a friend like... She silenced him by kissing him forcefully. Naruto, you have your problems, but I've always admired you for being able to endure them and still smile. I've watched you since we were children. After you saved me from the bullies after school, I was always too shy to actually talk to you, but we have similar situations. My father ignores me for my younger sister, and ever since Mother died, he hasn't said so much as a kind word to me. He told me I was pathetic just this morning for losing to my sister. Naruto, I admire your will to fight, that lets you keep getting up no matter what. I always ran behind you, trying to catch up, but now I want to be by your side, to face down our obstacles together. Naruto was stunned, happy beyond belief, but stunned. Hinata, she smiled softly. Now, who's got a stuttering problem? She slipped at the end, her previous outrage fading, and the butterflies in her stomach returning. Naruto pulled her as close as she could, just holding her. Hinata-chan, I don't know what to say. I'm just confused and overwhelmed. Why would you want to stand by me? She kissed his jawline softly. Because I love you. Always have. Hinata-chan, I will never lie to you, but I can't say I love you back just yet. But I want the chance to be able to. I definitely like you more than other girls, so please, will you be my... Naruto was interrupted by another kiss. Hinata giggled. You don't have to ask, Naruto-kun. My answer will always be yes. Mineta, something happened big time. Jiraiya stood in Mineta's office. Mineta glared. Another prophecy change? Jiraiya nodded. I don't know how it's possible, because prophecies are usually permanent, with little to no change. The great toad told me that the death of she who binds shall mark beginning. The one who wears the sage's cloak and seeks the truth will either protect or destroy this world. And the one of all-seeing eyes will be the key. Should she fail, the world will follow suit. Code said the prophecy is different, almost set in stone, but who has the sage cloak? A power like that would definitely be easy to notice, right? Minato groaned. Sensei, I'm just starting to see why we shouldn't know the future. If you didn't tell me the first prophecy, I'd never have enrolled Naruto, and he wouldn't hate me. Jiraiya smiled sadly. Kid, that's what it means to be Hokage, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the precious village. I recommended you because you would be able to make the hard choices that a weaker man wouldn't. If you bear his hatred and succeed in protecting everyone, at least he'll be safe. Then Minato's eyes widened. Wait, Naruto just unlocked a new bloodline. What if they're part of the Sage Cloak? If I'm right, then we've been doing this all wrong. He stood up angrily. Kid, the jinchuriki of the 9 tails gets a Sage Cloak if they master all 9 tails, Jiraiya told him. The one who binds. I think it means Karashima Onomi's chakra change, Minato asked, as he dismissed his earlier idea. Jiraiya nodded. I figured as much. But the best we can do is protect them. Where are they? Nara cursed. Damn it! Naomi's on a mission. And Kari's Ambu. Go get Team Ichi. You've got 5 minutes. Why send them? Jiraiya asked. Because Ichi can fight nearly anyone alive, Minato told him. Chapter 20. Race to Kiri. Naruto, Ichi, Sasuke, and Kara were moving at full speed, stopping only when absolutely necessary. Naruto was feeling something strange, like his power was changing at base level. Sasuke now had a fully mature Sharingan active, keeping his eyes out for enemy attacks. The Sharingan showed things down and increased perception exponentially, and allowed the user to see chakra, so he figured it would be a good idea. Ichi had his eyes open, only so he could see, otherwise he'd be mostly blind. Kara was the only one excited. She figured that if their dad thought it was best to send them, it couldn't be that bad. Naomi, move! Neji yelled over the fighting. He and his other teammate, Rock Lee, were trying to fight off dungeons and ninjas. Naomi was holding her Rasengan in each hand as she jumped high. Just give us the girl, brat. We might even let you... Ah! Naomi lunged from above, shoving the Rasengan into the man's shoulder, breaking his arm in the sockets and crushing his ribs. Naomi stood up. You can't have her. We are taking her to the land of snow, so leave or we will kill you. Naomi was red-headed like her mother, but she possessed ultimate talent and had already mastered the 2 jutsus that made Minato famous. She looked around at the men. She only had 2 kunais, and Lee and Neji kept them so she could get them quickly. Guy was fighting another ninja that appeared to be their leader. Guy had activated 3 gates and was barely keeping up. 4th gate, 5th gate, 6th gate, 7th gate, gate of joy, open! Naomi looked at her sensei as he released 7 of the 8 gates. The man smirked and crouched. Cyberpath, power at 75. The man had a yellow piece of paper over each eye, and he had a leather trench coat, black pants, and black shoes. His hair was short, and he had light facial hair. Then he gripped the trench coat and ripped it off, exposing something truly shocking. His arms and most of his torso were machines. He caught Guy's punch with his left hand. Want to know a secret? The man asked. When I was a kid, I was in the Ganin squad, always trying to catch up to my teammates, never getting much stronger. I was the brains of the group. So I realized that there was another option. I based my body on 2 things, a puppet user from Suna that had a mechanical hand, and a man with ripple patterns in his eyes. He was able to convert his body into technology. Generations past. What we have currently, he allowed me to study the technology his body could become if I would make him a few things. 85% of my body is mechanical, made of metal that is harder than carbon steel. Once I did this, my teammates thought I was a freak, so I killed them. His free hand spread out was chakra to look like a cannon, with red light coming from inside of it. He aimed at a guy's chest, but in the last second, a chain grabbed it and yanked his arm to the right. Just as it fired, a beam of red energy that cut into the landscape. Naomi had grew a chain in her hand. So basically, you're a nerd. The man narrowed his eyes. Those chains are interesting. I will enjoy strangling you with them. The guy used the power of the 7 gates to deliver an earth-shattering punch to the man's cheek. It made him shriek back and spit some blood. You're strong. I wonder if I can replicate the boost you get within myself. Rizan-sama, more leafmen are on the way, called a man with a kunai. The man notices inside. I guess I'll have to finish you quickly. End of chapter 20.